Hey makeup friends, it is time for my monthly oohs and oohs. In other words, it's time for my monthly favorites and not so favorites. Let's get into this. As always, I want to start off by welcoming you back to my channel, or if you are new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and on my channel, we like to mix beauty, brains, and the occasional F-bomb. Now, I am maximizing the heck out of this eye look. I created it using the Michaela and Glamlight palette, and I am filming as many videos as I can today while Barrie has the kids out. Hence, you're going to see this look in a few videos. Anyways, the lipstick that I'm wearing is from Bite Beauty and it's in the shade Praline. All right, let's just dive straight into this. So I do have quite a few oohs, like the ones that make me happy, and then oohs, the ones that just really did not make me happy at all. So I think we're just gonna bounce back and forth rather than doing all the good stuff and then the ones that disappointed me. So let's start off on a high note and let's talk about this Michaela palette here. Freaking love this thing. I have filmed, I don't know what order they're gonna go up in, but I have filmed 3 looks using this palette. This is one of them. And in there's also a review of the palette, so I'm gonna try to limit my commentary here, but suffice it to say, I love this palette. I think the mattes perform absolutely beautifully. The shimmers, there's a little bit of a learning curve in terms of the application of them and getting the powder onto the brush in specific. I just find that you have to use like a flat shader brush and kind of wiggle it around in the pan a little bit in order for it to adhere to the bristles, or you can just go in with your finger, dealer's choice. But once applied, they're beautiful. Like, they are just such beautiful shadows. I love the color story in here. I love that you have the inclusion of the neutrals up at the top and then all of these beautiful fun colors down here. This is just one of those palettes that I can wear to the office. I can wear it on date night. I can do so many different looks with this palette, and it's just one of those ones that, although palettes of this size often overwhelm me, this one doesn't. I find this one to be incredibly inspiring, and I just love all of the colors that are in here. This is one that I highly recommend. I think we can do 2 positives and then a negative. I think that's how we're gonna do it. So let's talk about one more palette, and this one is from BH Cosmetics. It should come really as no surprise that I love a BH Cosmetics palette, but this one kind of shocked me. This one I picked up when I picked up the most recent Birthstone palette, and this one's the Flower Power, and it's frankly adorable. I didn't expect that the pans were gonna be freaking minuscule, like I was not expecting that, but don't let the tiny size fool you. These things pack a punch, and these shadows are right up to their regular standard. I have had no issues in dealing with these shadows. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I did wear this like sort of duochromatic pinky purple shade here on my lid one day to the office, and it held up beautifully all day. This shade down here, which is called Love, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And then Boogie down here is like the perfect deep shade to include with all these other tones because it's just a really, really deep plummy purple. It's a beautiful palette. It's one that I don't think I've heard anybody else talk about. And I think I got it for like $9, something along those lines. You get a ton of shades for that. Little tiny pans, but I've had no issues getting my brush into them. And then that also affords me the option that I might actually be able to hit pan on one of these at some point. Regardless, I think it's an absolutely beautiful palette. I do plan to play with it even more, but I wanted to include it here because it just made me go, ooh, when I used it. All right, but things cannot always be rainbows and puppies with BH Cosmetics, and we have one, ew. This one is the Ruby palette. This is the Birthstone for July. Now, my disgruntlement with this palette does not lie in the performance. The shades are totally fine. The shadows apply just as I would expect them to. My disappointment lies in the fact that this is supposed to be a Ruby palette, but it's not, with the exception of the pressed glitter, which is not my go-to formula. So I really think that they missed the mark with this large pan here. This is supposed to be the shade that's inspired by the gemstone, and it pulls very pink. Like it is a very pink palette overall, and I wanted to see more. I would have loved to have seen this red replicated over here in a metallic shade. I think that would have just put it over the top, certainly taken it to a way different level than where it's at, but overall, this was just a really big disappointment in terms of the color story, and so I gotta say, ew. Now, I mentioned this lipstick at the top of the video, but I wanted to include it as well as one of those things that just made me happy this month, and that is the new formula from Bite Beauty. So this is, what are they calling it? The Power, what the hell? Power Move Soft Matte Lipstick. Again, I have the shade Praline, and I want to get more of them because these are so nice. So just regular, typical bullet lipstick. They don't have that lemon smell that they used to. Now they smell more like a MAC lipstick. It smells kind of like a toasted marshmallow, if that makes sense. I like it. It's not overpowering, but I like it. I kind of miss the lemon, to be honest. It was something different, but this is not a bad second place. But what really gets me with this lipstick is just the feel of it. It is a very matte finish, and yet it feels like a cream lipstick. Like it's very emollient on the lips. There's no tugging when you apply it. It doesn't dry my lips out, and the lasting power on this is seriously impressive. But what's more is that not only is there longevity, but it holds up beautifully while you're wearing it. So I have worn it for, I'd say, upwards of 4 hours, and you really don't see much in the way of wear. It's faded a little bit, but it hasn't become gummy. It hasn't like pilled up on itself. It hasn't got like settled into the cracks of your lips or anything like split apart, anything of that sort. It still looks almost like a fresh application. Not quite, but really well considering how long I've had it on. And it's just a very, very comfortable lipstick. So this is definitely one that I want to get more of because I can see myself reaching for this over and over again because it's just so damn comfortable to wear. Next, I want to talk about this brush set here. This is from What's Up Beauty. Now they did send this to me along with their palette and some nail polishes, but even if they hadn't sent it to me, I'd want to include it in this video because these brushes are fantastic. They're all natural. There is one, I think it's the pencil brush. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's this one that is a mix of synthetic and natural hair, but the rest of them are 100% goat hair, I believe it is. They're made in Japan and they are so soft and so well made, and I'm really enjoying using these. This one here takes the place of like the Sigma E40 for me, and I like that it's a little bit tapered because I do have hooded eyes, so I do find that this gives me a little bit more precision than a traditional fluffy brush. I still use my fluffy brushes, but I really like the shape of this one. And then it comes in like 2 progressively smaller sizes. Maybe I should say 4, like there's 4 different sizes, but they all have that nice tapered cut, which really works well for the shape of my eyes. There's a nice flat shader brush and then the little pencil brush over here. I find that they're really well made. They haven't lost any of the bristles. I have washed them a few times since I've got them, haven't had any issues with the bristles getting dried out. And I just think that the quality is there with these. And this is one that I'm tempted to pick up another set just to have them on hand because, like I said, I just keep using these ones over and over again, and I'm just really enjoying these. Something I did not enjoy though is this highlighter from Ritual de Fille. This is the Metamorphic highlighter in the Sorcerer. I just don't like the texture of this thing. Like I really don't. I don't know why I thought it was going to be a powder, but it's not. It's a cream, and it's like a very wet cream. Oh God, that's a horrible string of words to put together. Anyways, like it just, I don't like it. It feels almost like slimy, and then getting like a nice even application, like you really have to rub it in, and then it's just, I don't know, I just don't like it. I have tried using it underneath my foundation, and it still just shows up as little random flecks of glitter over top of foundation because you really have to rub it into place. I find that it tends to mess up what's underneath it, and it's just not a product that I can get along with, and so, ew. All right, now let's talk about SPF because I have finally found one that works for me and works well for me, and that is from Coola. This is the Classic Face Sport Classic Sunscreen White Tea Moisturizer. I don't know what the hell it's actually called, but all of those words are in there somewhere. SPF 50, and it feels like an actual moisturizer. It doesn't have any sort of white cast to it. It actually smells kind of nice. It smells kind of like higher end skincare. Like it has sort of like that like florally kind of scent to it without it being super overwhelming. But like I said, it doesn't have like that white cast to it. It doesn't smell very chemically, and it just sinks in so nicely into the skin. And I haven't had any issues with my skin with it. In the past, I have suffered literal chemical burns from SPF. Like I can test it on my neck. It becomes very itchy. It raises up into a welt and you can see like the red from where I've like applied it to the skin. I have broken out in hives because of SPF before. And so throughout most of my 20s and 30s, I just didn't wear SPF because it just jacked my shit up so badly that it was actually very painful and kind of scary, to be honest. When you're having like a full body hive reaction, it's a little bit terrifying. And in recent years, I've been moving towards more mineral-based SPF, and yet what that does is it just breaks me out into all of these little tiny bumps that last for weeks after the fact. So going on vacation, I rely very heavily on hats because when I'm wearing SPF on a consistent basis, the texture of my skin just becomes like sandpaper. Like it's just all little bumps all over my face. This one, however, I have not had any issues, and I have been using it on a daily basis as my moisturizer in the morning. And I'm just so very freaking happy with it because I'm now getting SPF coverage, but without all those terrible SPF side effects that I've had in the past. So this is definitely one, even though it is pricey, I'm going to continue purchasing because my skin actually likes it. And then I have two blushes to talk about, and both of them are from Natasha Denona, and these are the Puff Paint Liquid Blush Serums. And I'm wearing this one today. This one is in the shade Daria, I believe. Why the hell doesn't it say anywhere on here what the name of it is? What the shit? 1021, I'm pretty sure it's called Daria. Anyways, it's the pink one. There's only 3 to choose from. But the one that I'm like really loving and very surprised by is this one. And I'm pretty sure it's called Tan, although on the bottom it just says 1026. So who the hell knows? I was concerned that this was just going to be like straight up brown. I didn't need to worry. It has like a peachy undertone to it. And when you blend it out, it just becomes like this perfect sun-kissed kind of look. It's like the perfect mixture of pink and brown to make it look like it's just a couple of days past a sunburn, despite me talking about SPF 50. Just go with me on this. And it just looks so natural on the skin. As I'm looking at my hand, I don't even freaking see it, but I guess that's because it looks so natural on the skin. It kind of sinks right in. But on the face, definitely shows up, but it's not like pink and it's not peach, but it's kind of like the perfect hybrid. And at any rate, just trust me on this. It looks beautiful. If you have my kind of complexion, highly recommend. It's not a shade that I would typically go for. That's kind of why I bought it, was just to try it out and see. I'm so glad that I did because I love this one so much. However, there is a liquid blush that I just went like, ugh, I didn't like that one at all, and it's from Drunk Elephant. This is the, oh shit, like I know how to say this. OOHS? OOHS? I don't know how to say it. Rosy Drops. I got it as a deluxe sample because I wanted to try it. Glad I didn't pay money for it. I don't like it. It's personal. Like it's just a preference thing. I don't tend to like things that are that effing metallic. Like what the hell? That's supposed to be a blush. And first of all, it just blends and blends and blends, which is good, but there's going to be a learning curve with this one because you're going to have it all over your face basically. But I don't like the finish on it. That's really my source of complaint. It is very glowy and very metallic, and I don't know how to describe that color, and it only comes in one color, so you don't get to choose. It's called Rosy Drops. Now, they're kind of tongue-in-cheek, R-O-S-I, so maybe it's like Rossi Drops, and I just don't know what that means, but I'm guessing it's Rosy Drops. It's not rosy, but nor is it really pink, and it's not really, like, I don't know what that is, but I don't like it. We'll just suffice it to say it's very much personal preference. If you like really glowy blushes, you're probably going to love this, but I don't, so ew. I started on the wrong foot because I actually want to end on a positive note. So let's just do one more disappointing product and then we will end with 2 seemingly random positives. Okay. If you saw my review on this, this should come as no surprise. This is the Huda Glow Wish Multi-Dew Skin Tint, and I have it in the shade 02 Fair Light, and I do not like this product. I mean, I don't know how many times I literally said ew in my review of it, but I'm gonna guess it was a fairly high number because this truly does make me say ew. It is so heavy and so greasy feeling on the skin, and I'm just, ugh. This was just one of those products that even within like an hour of wearing it, I was like, is it time to wash my face yet, please? Because I don't like this feeling. It's shiny, it's heavy, I was so aware of it. Like every time my face moved, I could just feel the makeup on it. It felt like my skin couldn't breathe. It was glowy as hell, which again, if you like a glowy finish on your products, this will get her done. But I did not like the feel of it. I didn't like how intensely glowy it was. I just was not a fan. I really cannot stress that enough. Not a fan of this product at all. It's probably one of the most disappointing foundations that I've tried in a while. Not so much from a wear perspective because it did hold up fairly well throughout the day. It did get trapped in my fine lines and that wasn't really great. But in terms of the actual feel of it, even if it looked beautiful on my skin and had like the perfect finish that I look for, I still wouldn't wear this because I don't like the feeling of it. So this is one that I am going to be returning because I know I'm not going to use this. So, but we're now going to end on a positive. Well, two positives. Kind of random, to be honest, but here we are. So one of them is makeup adjacent. One of them has absolutely nothing to do with makeup. So makeup adjacent are these guys here from Makeup Eraser. And these are the SpongeBob set. So there's Patrick. I don't have all of them here because some of them are in the laundry. And then we have Sandy. And this took me altogether way too long to figure out who this was. And it was just a perspective thing. I could not figure out what the hell I was looking at. It's Gary, clearly, but I could not figure out. I was like, what is that cuttlefish looking thing? Anyways. And then we've got Squidward. And the last one I have here is Plankton. So SpongeBob, and then there's one other is missing. I can't remember who the other one is. Doesn't matter. Anyways, what I like about these, first of all, they're so convenient because makeup eraser. So I don't have to worry about makeup wipes or anything of that sort. I can just use this and away I go. I always do use my, oh crap, my makeup removing balm. Who the hell is it from? I talk about it all the time and I love it. Oh, this one. So I always use it with this here. This is actually an empty. We'll talk about empties at some point in the future because I really don't have very many right now. But this is the Gleam. Oh my God. Get it together. So what I love about these guys, I mean, aside from the fact that they're adorable and insanely soft, but they're just so very convenient. So I always use them with my makeup removing balm. The one that I use is from Pharmacy and it's the Green Clean Makeup Melt Away Cleansing Balm. So that's what I always use with it. I apply that to my skin and just sort of massage it around so that all the makeup is broken down. I wet this with just some water, wipe it off, and then I go in and cleanse my face and do the whole bit. But I love the size of these. Like, these are perfect for me. If you've seen the original makeup eraser, she's a monster, right? Like there's the difference in size, and this is overkill to me. But because I try to just use a little bit at a time, but basically it always ends up all getting wet and then it smells like wet towel and it's just it's a whole thing. So that one I just find to be way too big. These are freaking perfect for me. So they got the little strap on the back. I can just wipe and wash my whole face, rinse it out. I can usually get 2, maybe 3 days out of it before it starts getting that wet towel smell. You know what I mean? Like when it gets wet and then dries and then wet and dries. Anyways, then I can just throw that into the washer and it's good to go. But it comes in a pack of 7, so I'm never out of them. I think they're absolutely perfect and they're adorable. I have to put them on the top shelf so that the kids can't reach them because SpongeBob. But I'm very happy with this set. If SpongeBob's not your thing, I know in Sephora they also sell one that has, I think they're little mushrooms or something like that. So if you're not cool with rubbing your face with plankton, you can get mushrooms. So there's that. Anyways, the last one that I want to share with you is completely unrelated to makeup, but it's an author that I've just discovered. And I don't know how to pronounce his name. Michael Kurita, I guess. Anyways, it was a total random find. So Barrie and I were looking for a movie to rent through the Cineplex website, whatever, it doesn't matter. We were watching some trailers and we found a trailer for a movie called Those Who Wish Me Dead. It's got Angelina Jolie and I don't know, some other people in it. We didn't end up renting it, but we have ordered it from the library. But I realized that it was based on a book. So I also got the book from the library and we took it when we went camping. I could not put that book down. Like I finished it in 2 days flat. I was riveted throughout the entire thing. It was just one of those books that like 3 pages in, I was hooked and it just yanked me along throughout the entire story. It was fantastic. So I went back to the library and I picked up this book of his, which is one of his earliest ones. This is called The Ridge. Totally different aspect. So the one that I got, the Those Who Wish Me Dead, was more like a crime kind of thing. This one is more like a ghost story, but so good. His writing style is phenomenal. I have another one of his books from the library waiting upstairs because this one I am just about done. I've only got a few more chapters in it. I just really, really like his storytelling. Kind of reminds me of like a Stephen King, Dean Koontz, but not quite as over the top in terms of the supernatural element. But in terms of like the ability to tell a story, he's right up there with them. Also sort of like a John Grisham kind of deal where the characters are really well developed as well. Highly recommend checking out if you are in the market for a new book. He's just an author I've never heard of before, but I'm so glad I stumbled upon him because I'm going to be binging all of his books throughout the rest of the summer. I can already tell. Anyways, I wanted to share that with you. All right, that is it. Those are my monthly oohs and oohs. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What are some products that you are loving or disloving? Disloving's not a word. Disliking, shall we say? Wow. Anyways, let me know down below what you're loving, what you're hating, all that good stuff. If you have an author to recommend to me, please do. And until next time, just be a decent human being.